Hey guys, we're live. I'm going to be on with Steve Cohn here in a second. Just want to let you guys know that we have a pretty awesome trip coming up here soon. Me and my partner, Will, was in the military with me back in, I think, 2008, 2009. I can't remember when he left. But anyway, we're doing a canoe trip from the St. Croix River. We're starting on the northern point from the headwaters and going all the way down to Prescott, where the St. Croix River meets in with the Mississippi. So we're doing all 155 miles, and that should be pretty fun. So we're trying to raise some money for veteran suicide prevention, and all proceeds are going to get donated to Warriors Next Adventure. It's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be about 5 days. We're going to have to canoe for about 30 miles a day, which is going to be pretty strenuous. I mean, nothing like Bryant and those guys canoeing across the goddamn Atlantic, but hey, it should still be a lot of fun. All right, so we have a GoFundMe, and if you guys would like to pitch into that to try to help raise some money, it's going to go towards some awesome events in the future. So today I have on Steve Cohn. He is the founder and president of a new nonprofit, X22 Adventures. So me and Steve have been chatting for a little while, and I kind of gave him the kick in the ass, and he next thing you know, he just he started the ball rolling, and he's got a pretty cool thing going. So I'll bring him on, guys. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Nick. How you doing?
Not too bad. And we got quite a bit of delay here, so it's going to be your voice for some reason is not matching up with your video. Oh well, that's fine. So, Steve, who are you, and what do you do?
We'll get it. I am an Air Force. Uh, also was a firefighter EMT for Martin County Fire Rescue here in South Florida, and I got hurt. I cracked my kneecap in the Air Force, and I blew it out in the fire department.
How'd
And
you end up
12
doing that?
operations later, 2 total knee replacements later. What's that?
How'd you end up doing that?
What'd you say? Slipped in
How did
oil.
yeah?
It's
How did you hurt your
very
knee?
simple. The original injury was I felt we were doing at a fire training drill at Edwards Air Force Base
Oh, okay.
hangar, and one of the pumps wouldn't shut off, so we had to check some valves. Soaking wet, all that gear slipped, and my kneecap into the valve.
Jesus Christ.
3 pieces later, Air Force went in, fixed it up, and it left bone fragments in the carpet.
Oh no.
10 years later, as a fireman, packing all that gear on, and we were cleaning the bay floors on Friday, and just a
Yeah.
slip, simple slip. And 21 years later, took my knee.
So you recently
So
had surgery at the beginning of the year, wasn't it?
it's February 10th is when they actually took the knee, and best damn decision I ever made. It was voluntary. People people ask me, it's like, you actually had your knee cut off intentionally, and it's like, yeah, pain. Pain will make you do crazy things. And when it was done and over with, 4 hours after the surgery, I was in half the pain I was in when I walked in the door at the hospital.
That's
It,
crazy.
it,
And so did
it
the
is
fire
what it
department help
is.
pay for it?
No, no, this was 2 years of fighting with the fire department. It was, screwed me. 9 years to get it, disability.
Yeah.
And come to find out, the actual accident in the service is what caused me to have the accident at the fire department. And an accident is what it is. And it took me a long time to accept that.
Yeah.
Depression, PTSD from many years of the fire department. Uh, Military, we had 2 aircrafts, or actually 3, but two Hueys went down at different times. We lost 6 in one and 5 in the other. And when you're picking up body parts, It's at 19, 20 years old. It's like you don't know what to expect. I mean, I literally
Yeah, it's
picked up a
definitely not
man's
something you're
head in a
used to.
flight helmet. That was my no. The lieutenant on that particular crash, he was a young young guy like the rest of us, and he's older than me. He said, "Go mark all this, and first thing I want you to do is bring me that crash helmet or that helmet." Okay, well, I went over there and put a stake in the ground and wrote what I found, and I picked the helmet up, and it's like, this thing's a little bit heavier than I expected. So I kind of gave it a little twist up, and it's like, okay. I put it back down, and I went to the lieutenant and said, "If you want that fucking helmet, you better go get it yourself because there's a head in it." He
Oh,
said, "All right."
Jesus
I was
Christ.
like, "There is." Come to find out, one of the people that was in that particular Huey, when it was crashing, fell out, and the Huey fell on top of it and
Jesus
head off
Christ.
like a zit. I mean, yeah.
When
Yeah,
was when
that
was
was
this?
my
What year
introduction
was this?
into it. This was 1990.
Oh, okay.
In
What base was that
1989
at?
and 1990. Edwards,
Oh, okay.
California.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Space shuttle used to land. Yeah, it was. And then I got out 4 years later. I mean, loved the service. Kind of forced out due to Clinton, and long story on that one. But everything was meant to be. I got home and put myself through fire school and EMT school. And months after that, I was hired at Martin County and worked for several
And
years.
that
And
was
then,
that's down in Florida, right?
yeah, it's South Florida. Martin County is one county north of Palm Beach County. That's the easiest way
Oh,
to
okay.
explain it. People, where's it at? Know where it's Palm Beach is? About 50 miles north. That's where
So
I'm
like
at on the coast.
you're down by Lake Okeechobee now, right?
Oh yeah, I'm living. I will be. I'm moving back here soon. I'm just here on vacation and business for X22 Adventures,
Gotcha.
and
So
the
how did
base
you end
for
up
this
back
will
up
be
in
in.
Minnesota?
Uh,
How'd you end up back in Michigan?
um, chasing a girl.
No.
Knew her from
It
the
happens to the best of us, my friend.
yeah, and I know it. I knew her from the Air Force. Knew her from California, and she got a divorce. I got a divorce, and things were going on. My head wasn't totally straight at the time, and the ex-wife was a lot of going on with the boys, so it's like to get them away from her and the crap that was going on around here. It's like I took a chance and moved up to Michigan. It was a good and bad decision at the same time, I guess you can say. My boys, it was good to get away from their mom. I won't go into a whole bunch of that, um, but for
Just
me,
toxic.
we were the girl I wanted to go. Yeah, it was toxic, very toxic. Drugs. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
How old are your kids now?
so I moved to Michigan to. My oldest one's 26 and my youngest one's 21. And my youngest one actually has never seen me work. I got hurt 30 days before he was born.
Damn.
And yeah, I've been doing my thing with him, and it was, and understand. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful. I'm grateful. It's a lot has gone on in the last, especially the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Suicide
Yeah.
attempt.
So
I'm in the same boat as you were.
when did you ended up having your surgery in February, right? So you have been posting
Yeah.
some videos and some pictures of you finally walking on your new leg. It looks like you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, actually, I'm doing really good. The leg is great. Trying to get used to walking on a thing is a little interesting.
Yeah.
um,
I'm
the
still really disappointed that you
when
still have not put a RoboCop side gun in your leg.
I've got something in the works. Yeah,
At least like a fishing rod holder or something like
we'll
that.
see. Yeah, I've got something in the works. With this first leg, it looks like I said, RoboCop or Terminator combination, and it's like I need to slap a sidearm on there and let's go. But
That'd be pretty funny.
I'm working on it so much now with the leg that it's already loose, the prosthetic.
Oh, really? So they have to fit you for another one, or is it just like fit you for like another? Is it a separate fitting
By
or
the
a
time
mold
I
or
get
something?
back to Michigan, yeah, what they do is they'll take a casting of your leg and then they'll mold it from
Okay.
there. They use they've got a major mold of plaster and they shape it. And once they get it to where they think it is, they'll make a temporary plastic mold and test fit you and go from there. Well, I had my first test fitting and I had changed less than 3 weeks, and they actually had to do another.
Oh, well.
And that was a month ago, and I've already have to have it done again. By the time I get back to Michigan,
That's all right. Go ahead and grab that.
no, it's from my mom.
I was gonna say answer it live. Let's talk to him. Let's see what's up.
Yeah, let's see who it was. Who was that?
So okay, so you contacted
so
me probably was that like 3 months ago, 2 months ago? Because it wasn't shortly after that you
February.
started, getting that. What did you
Yeah,
say?
no, actually, I was in the hospital. I said, me and you talked the first time was I was actually in the hospital after my leg surgery.
Oh,
I
okay.
happened to be flipping on Facebook and your podcast popped up and I started watching it. And it's like, hey, I need to talk to this guy. That's actually how all of this got started.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Well, for you, it's not hard to explain. But for most people, it's like, for looking at me and everything, it's like, I've got to be serving something and doing something. The last 21 years has had sucked the life out of it.
Yeah.
And the day they cut my leg off, I literally called my new birthday February because I got a new life, new lease on life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take advantage of everything I can do. And in the same process of what I'm doing, I can show other vets that you can get through it. It might hurt. You might end up with a shitload of scars, but you can make it to the other side and have an enjoyable life. And that's how X22 Adventures came about. The fishing part of it, when I needed distress relief, I grab a fishing pole and go find the closest pond I can and turn the phone off, watch watching the fishing line. I mean, and that clears your head amazingly.
Yeah, and the most important part about
You
that too is
all you're thinking about is
turning your damn phone off for a little bit.
yeah. That's that people need. It needs to be done more often. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
the fishing thing is like when we do get all this, I'm gonna as phones are we have an emergency phone. The rest of it is gonna be human to human conversations and not looking on the telephone.
So explain to everybody what X22 Adventures is going to be.
Well, back up just here. Well, X22,
Sure.
how the name came about is most people don't know. I mean, vets and public safety do, but 22 people in the military are veterans and safety commit suicide every day. It is a silent epidemic that is never talked about. And I've lost personally over the last 2 years 8 people due to either suicide or a drug overdose, which basically was suicide involuntarily because they told me that they were tired of living. And
Yeah, the opiate
that
epidemic is just
scared the hell out of
terrible, and
me.
veterans are really affected by it.
Yeah, it is. And the sad part about it is, like I said, with these 8 people that I knew, the youngest one was 23. He had done 4 years in the Army. The oldest one was 64 years old, and he was a E9 Master Sergeant in the Army, 32 years of service. And we found him under the bridge OD because he couldn't get the mental help from the VA that he was. And that broke my
I mean,
heart.
that's
It's
why I always say that,
guys that serve.
there somebody once said that, my nonprofit is, it's saturated, and I'm like, "Okay, time out. Let me ask you something real quick. How many veterans do you know who have reached out or have said something along the lines of, 'Well, there was nobody to help me'?" I hear that all too fucking often, and
Exactly.
I don't like hearing that. And so I decided to say, "Hey, fuck it." They're obviously, if there's people saying that they're not getting the help that they need, then there needs to be more. If anything, the one place that should be saturated is the veteran mental health world. And so something that, like with WNA,
Amen.
what we put out there is a lot of it is just empowering veterans to understand that you can take control of your life again. That's a big part of it, but, I mean, we just do that while
Yes.
climbing fucking mountains and shit, we go do fun stuff,
Yeah.
and, we have some great conversations while doing a lot of these things, and I think that's why X22 Adventures really
Yeah.
makes some difference down in, Florida.
I do too. It originally started when in my grand scheme of things, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna come back down to South Florida, come back to my hometown, and cover the district. My district. There's 4
Yeah.
counties: Okeechobee, St. Lucie, Martin, Okeechobee, St. Lucie, Martin, no, Indian River. I couldn't think of every minute. Just cover those 4 counties, and
Yeah.
that was the beginnings of it. And since then, it has exploded. Uh, I haven't even really got off the ground yet. I'm still working on getting shirts made. I've got one boat that was donated to us for the lake,
You get a boat
and
donated to you guys?
I'm working on. You know, we got a boat donated to us, and also had $500 donated from the same guy uh,
Nice. That's awesome.
for physical fitness with veterans. My secretary on my board, she is a personal trainer,
Nice.
and
Is
he
she a
happened to
veteran too?
be one of her clients. How I got started. No, no, she's just a good old country girl that has been through hell and back, say, and she made it to the other side as well. And it's and I needed a female on the board. Just kidding, Shelly. Um,
Hey, that's good
she's a great
because,
girl.
when
She's a
you
great
have
girl.
some diversity on your board and you have diversity within your company, I mean, you're gonna have ideas that you might not have yourself. And so, I mean, that's one thing that I always applaud people for, is because when you have a huge variety of different ideas coming thrown at you, you think about certain aspects that of like healing, or even events or adventures and things that other people that are different than you might want. So you also need to start looking around at other options. Margot says girl power.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've got my vice president. His name's Girl Power. Yeah, exactly, Margo. Shelly's going to keep all of us guys in line. Trust me, she is a firecracker. And yeah, my vice president is Randy Tucker, and I actually have an entertainment director. That is 2 words that I would have never thought in a million years would come out of my
That's pretty cool.
mouth. And he's got some great ideas, and apparently he knows several people in the music industry that could possibly help in the near future.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that for now. I don't want to get into much of it because I'm not 100% how it's going to go. But if everything that I've been told so far, there's some great things coming for me too, and yours, and I'm excited. I really am. I've been watching YouTube videos of different type of fishing things, and like Shelly said, there's some people might not want to do fishing, but like the water. As a kid, where I grew up in Crystal River is freshwater springs. During the wintertime, you can go swim with the manatees.
Oh, nice.
Diving. We have in North Florida, we have a horseback trails and zip lines, stuff like that we've been looking at. So it's not going to be just strictly fishing, but that's the premises of the beginning of this organization is fishing. It's getting guys out on the water, especially on the salt water. You get into
there's a lot of people
like
you can collaborate with down there too. Like they got those guys over in the Everglades that take veterans, hunting for the pythons and stuff, which that's pretty sweet. I would totally go do that. For people that don't know, pythons are just eradicating like all kinds of like small animals in the Everglades area, and they're spreading and spreading and spreading. So they're pretty much open to hunt.
The people think that it's the python epidemic actually started from people letting their snakes loose. Andrew took out the quarantine facility in Fort Lauderdale, and thousands of snakes were
Jesus Christ
let loose by accident by the storm. Yeah, and since 2017, I just read today, 5,000 pythons have been collected out of the Everglades.
Jesus Christ, 5,000?
That's crazy.
Insane.
In 3 years. In 3 years, 5,000 snakes. And so there's 5,000. Yeah. And so they're making money doing it. I'd like to do it.
Hey, man, collaboration is one of the best ways to really thrive, because like we said in the beginning, and like I've said a million times on these podcasts, TJ Kreitzer from I probably say his name wrong every time. I'm sorry, TJ. From We Defy, he's the vice president. He said in the veteran nonprofit world, or like mental health world, 1 + 1 = 3. So when you work together, it's maximizing your outreach and the amount of people that you're going to reach. So like when we go down there and we end up doing a joint event together or something like that, it's gonna be great for both of us.
Oh yeah, I've got something in the works for that, and how can I explain? Get 4 or 5 guys out on a big fishing boat, 55 miles out on the water, and you go after a swordfish that's 100 pounds. Most of the time they're using an electric reel to get it from 1,500 to 2,000 feet down, bring it to the boat. Well, you get several guys, military especially, that's got that type A personality. It's like, hey, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Let's reel it up from the bottom by hand, and it has to be a team effort, because you can't do it on your own. And that alone will let guys know that, okay, I've got you. We're there to help each other. And in the meantime, when you're doing that, you're creating a great memory. And if you're talking about the shit that was bad while you're doing it, those bad memories get erased. Good memories come in. I mean, there's a video that I want to do with everybody.
My theory on that is, your memories, especially those military memories, are like a VHS tape, right? And so when I take veterans out hiking, fishing, mountain climbing, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff, what we're doing is we're talking about all these traumas and all these past experiences that have just plagued them and have literally burnt into their brains. And so, I mean, one thing that vets need to understand is like those memories, they're not going to go away. They will never go away. And that the sooner you accept that and sooner you understand that, the sooner it's a little bit easier to deal with them, because you almost expect it to happen. But when you go out and you do these kind of trips and you do these, the mountain climbing, rock climbing, and you're doing things with friends, what you're doing is you're re-recording over that VHS tape. That old memory is going to be there, but now it's linked and it's remapped to something positive, like with a group of guys going fishing or with a group of guys mountain climbing, so you can take those memories and what you can do is you could attach them to a better memory. And so now that they're linked together, it makes that old memory a little bit easier to handle. It won't go away, but it will make it easier to deal with.
exactly. And when in that same aspect, you've got several guys that's there. They know that you're there to help them, but you're there to help yourself. Um,
Oh yeah,
and it
dude.
takes that part to realize, okay, I can't do it on my own. I that was one thing that took me forever and a day to learn. I cannot do. I couldn't, and I didn't. I did. It took me. It took several friends and fishing and talking and opening up deep, dark secrets that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And when you start doing that, and you get it out of your head and actually say it out of your mouth, it's like, okay, it really becomes real, but it also
Mhm.
becomes more bearable. I have
Well,
found.
it's not only that it
And
becomes real,
the
but
more I
you
talk
put
about
it
them,
out
the
there,
easier it is.
and yeah, and then more people when you share your story, it's not walking around bitching and complaining. Like if you fucking like stubbed your toe and you walk around and tell everybody in the world that you stubbed your toe, it's fucking annoying. But if you had something that like that was real serious,
Right.
that really caused you a lot of issues, and you go out and you find somebody who you're comfortable with, right? Not just everybody, because some people might not understand, but when you have somebody like with me with Where's Next Adventure, with you with X22 Adventures, when you have somebody who is like minded, who has also been through some pretty traumatic stuff or some pretty, some
Yeah.
trying times, when we've figured out how to get out of that point.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and even though I'm a little sleepy right now because I woke up from a nap, but um, I'm a very happy person, even
If you
if I
see
don't
my eyes, I'm a little bit the same way.
even if I don't look like if I don't look like I'm the happiest person at the moment, trust me, I'm in my thoughts, and I'm just thinking. I'm a very deep person. I'm constantly, deep inside what my thoughts are, but also this nonprofit is like my life. I am Warriors Next Adventure because I've dug myself into this nonprofit so deeply that it's almost always on my mind. There's only a few certain times where I can really let go, and a lot of that time is whether when I'm having my you know quality time is important to me, and I spend a lot of quality time with Mara,
Right.
and so that's my main time where I just let everything else go, even the nonprofit, and I just forget about everything for a little bit, which needs to happen. But the rest of the time, man, like I just got done with an 8-hour shift up at dispatch, and I probably spent a good 6.5 hours working on
Right.
Warriors Next Adventure. Like it's not that I'm not doing my job there. It's just I was working central Minnesota for
Right.
the highways, and it was
Well,
pretty
you're a
slow.
dispatcher. You don't do a whole lot, so
Nah, I don't do anything. I'm lazy.
I give kudos to you, brother.
It's a wild job. Like
Dispatchers,
just it's wild,
it
man. Just
is.
today, I talked to a
We
father,
should.
and his daughter was hit by a car and killed this morning, and he called up
Uh,
wanting to talk to my trooper, and so I
mm,
chat with him for a few minutes, and man, he was hurt, and so you feel, with me, I'm such an empath. I feel people's hurt, especially when I can hear the hurt
right.
in his voice, and man, listen to his voice. That's the kind of shit that's gonna stick with you for a long time. So like that's why I always invite 911 dispatchers and EMTs, firefighters, people to come along to a lot of this stuff. If you're not a
Uh,
veteran, you got to pay your way, but I mean, you can still come. But man, the
right.
traumas that
It,
these people go through, it's it's equal to the military when it comes to a lot of this stuff,
yeah.
because I feel like all trauma is
Oh, it
processed the
is.
same. Yeah, like Margot said, living on purpose,
I like
man.
I had the two crashes in at Edwards, and that kind of put the ball rolling for me, I guess you can say. Once I got out, I got home, and a buddy of mine was a volunteer at the station here in the county I'm living in now, and I became a volunteer, and it's like I love it. And when actually became a firefighter EMT, um, the very first call I had as actually certified for both, we were running our ass off, bad weather all day long, and this individual decided that when he got a flat tire in the middle of the highway, instead of pulling over, he actually was parked in the highway. and he got 10 o'clock at night, and we get there, and it's pouring rain, and it's me and this other guy. And this guy's, I'm holding him, and brain matter. I mean, I've got brain matter on my hands. And I've had that before, but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
that's
I
a sight
wasn't
and a
the
smell
lead
that you'll never
person
forget.
on the call. No, actually, that one ain't bad compared to burnt body. That's a smell that you will never forget. And me personally, burnt bodies wise, I've been around 21.
Yeah.
10 of them in one
Yeah.
plane crash.
The first time I saw brains, I couldn't eat spaghetti for like 2 years. I know that's morbid, but
Yeah, because it's we had a call. I didn't. Like I said, I had some trauma. The stuff in the military, it didn't affect me that all much, just because I wasn't there, but just around the time. When I became an EMT firefighter, being on calls, some of them are just so horrific. You can't believe what you're seeing. We had one not too long ago. It was a volunteer. A father happened to back over his 4-year-old child.
Oh man,
And his head was stuck between the dual tires. And it was, we get there and it's like, there's nothing we can do for this kid, but I'm going to leave this kid stuck there and wait for the coroners to get there to take him between the tires. So we grabbed him, got on the road, and got down. And it's like, call him. Sad part about it is this family of 5 is now to 4. 1 week later, the family of 5 was down to 4 and down to 3 because they lost their oldest child to accidental drowning.
Oh no!
So, needless to say, the daddy became a drunk. Mama was put away for a while, and the middle child was raised by the grandparents. That's just one call of more than more than people can realize. I mean, I picked up a man's head. I put a woman back together that was in 2 pieces, put her in a body bag. I grabbed a man's femur from a train accident. And so that's just a few of the many, 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 many calls I've been on. And that people don't realize, the more you go on stuff like that, it's the memories that you see, the smells, all trigger. Just a simple smell or a sight.
A lot of people don't realize how
the
bad a
anxiety
smell can really trigger you and bring you back to another place. Like I'll be walking down the road. If I smell diesel fuel, I'm back in Iraq. Because in Iraq, I mean, there's generators everywhere. So I mean, you're always smelling diesel fuel and diesel exhaust and shit like that. Fucking cat, goddamn it. Wolf says hi.
Yeah, it is. Just look. Oh, here's mine. She's bugging me to hell out of back. I'm gonna twip it up a little bit. Well, hell, there she is. She's wanting to. Yeah.
The American Bulldog.
English.
Oh, okay.
That is Dixie. She is my service dog.
Nice.
And actually, she not only is she my service dog, but she is actually related to UGA, the University of Georgia, which is my diehard dog fan. So I wanted an English Bulldog, and I got one, and more than I expected. And in the ass right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
one thing that Chris Byrne just said that trauma is trauma, and he's learned over the last few years from a Holocaust survivor's journal that he was exploring, and you could really relate to it. But he said that it bothered him, but then he realized that all trauma is the same, and no one is greater than the other. There was a veteran that I was talking to that he had a somewhat traumatic experience, but even he said that he's like, I feel like I can't be sad about this. I feel like I can't be upset about this. He's like, I have good parents. I've had a good family. I had a good time in the service. He's like, I had this one thing happen, and even I would say that that's not, I personally, if that were to happen to me, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I've been through a lot of shit, so I mean, my level of bullshit is higher than a lot of people's bullshit. But you can't take that and compare it. You can't
Oh
take
yeah,
your story
yeah,
and compare it to mine. I can't take mine and compare it to yours because we weren't there, and everybody processes trauma somewhat the same inside the brain. If you actually get into the neuroscience of it, which I've actually been doing a lot of research on recently, um, it all processes pretty
no,
much the
not
same.
yet.
It doesn't
I'm
matter
here.
what happened. That trauma is caused by something, right? That something is always going to be different, but the trauma is
Right.
almost always going to be the same. Certain people deal with trauma a little bit better than others, but some people just need a little bit of work. So if you feel like you're a confident alpha male and everything like that, but you have something that's holding you back, there's nothing wrong with admitting the fact that, hey, maybe you need to go talk to somebody, or maybe you have a certain trauma from your past that maybe you haven't dug into. Certain things from childhood tend to be one of the biggest causes of trauma in military veterans. It's almost never the military. The military just, amplified it. But there's almost always a tie to childhood that seems
Right.
to be one of the main
There's a
underlying factors.
catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a catalyst to a lot of it, and there's still some stuff that I have that a lot of people don't know. Very few know some of the stuff that happened as a kid, and I'm still working through that part of it. But it's
Yeah.
I'm happy. From where I was even a year ago, my mom told me. Right, I'm staying with her right now until
Yeah.
I find my place. She told me that this was the first time she was actually glad to be around me in years. Due to the fact of how it was. I mean, I shouldn't be here. When I mean I shouldn't be here, yes, I am a suicide attempt survivor. Pulled the trigger, nothing happened. When it went click, I actually looked at the bullet, and there was a deep impression on the firing cap, and I said, "Oh, bitch!" Put it back in the gun and pulled the hammer back again and pointed it at the ground and pulled the trigger, and it went off. That scared the piss out of me. But it also showed me that there's a reason why I'm still here.
Yeah.
And that,
I
and
mean, I
then
don't
the
believe in
narcotics due
coincidences, man.
to,
I don't believe in coincidences at all.
I don't either. I don't either. Everything happens for a reason. And the last 21 years has got me to this point where I've had a few people say, well, how can you relate to somebody that this has happened to them? And I will pretty much look at them and says, well, relate to like what? Um, Suicide attempt, done that. Pain, done that. Depression, anxiety, done that. Narcotics, pain pills. I was on enough pain pills that it should have killed me. And I tell people this, and they look at me like I'm crazy, but I was taking 120 milligrams of methadone a day,
Jesus
120
Christ.
milligrams of Percocet a day, and 160 milligrams of OxyContin a day.
That's ridiculous,
And
man.
it took us. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, like the opioid epidemic, I mean, it really kind of started here in Florida.
Yeah.
I was hurting. The doctor says, you want some more? And it's like, well, okay, you're the doctor. I've never used anything illegal. Nothing. Never. It's just doctors prescribed, and I was taking that much stuff. And that walking zombie.
Yeah, it's kinda the
It
same
cost me
thing that
my
happened to me back in 2009
marriage.
after my
Cost
surgery.
me.
They gave me all kinds of shit, and they every time I needed more, you just go to the hospital or go to the doctor on base and be like, "Yeah, I'm out. I need another prescription." They just give it to you. I was taking Percocets and I was
Yeah,
taking oxycodone,
it was,
probably taking 7 to 8 pills a day. It was ridiculous. Luckily, somebody told me that I was addicted, and I was like, "Fuck you,
yeah,
no, I'm not."
and
And I just stopped taking them to prove them wrong.
yeah, yeah. Well, one thing that it wasn't that I just stopped. I mean, I realized, okay, my boys are watching their dad fade away. That was part of it, and I just like, I told the doctors that we're cutting this shit in half immediately. And I told the doctors that 18 months later, um, is I'm completely drug free. And since my surgery, my last, because I was so scared. I have been pain pill free or drug free for almost 3 years, and it was I wanted to for one, and the other big reason, well, three things. My kids was one. Two, I was miserable, and three is when I had my second total knee operation. Um, on all those pain medications, and the hospital could not get my pain under control with me. They actually OD'd me, and I was clinically dead for 31 seconds.
Damn.
That scared me even more than anything else. And it's like, why? And then we got to talking, and it's like, okay, something's got to change, and nobody's going to do it but me. And that's when the healing kind of started. And that was in 2015, but it still was, it took me till 2017 to finally say, okay, I'm done. And that's the last time I took a narcotic that was more than 30 days old, is what I'm saying, every month.
Yeah.
I had a knee amputated. Um, they gave me morphine to take home. And they actually told me I had 3 months supply before I had to go to pain management. And I was feeling so good, and that I took a total of 2 weeks of pain medication, and I was done. I told them, said, I'm done. I'm not going to even think about going down that road again. And
Yeah.
as soon as I could tolerate the pain, the rest of them was like, here you go, you can have it. And
I haven't taken any
good.
painkillers since
Your
after my
head.
neck surgery. They gave me some morphine. They gave me a shitload of Percocets and a bunch of other stuff. And so like I got home and because I broke my neck, so I had to have surgery on it. They had to cut off a piece of a disc and a couple other things. And I took
Ugh.
I think I took 2 Percocets afterwards, and I just dumped the bottle out. And I was like, man, I'd rather be in pain. I don't want to be all doped up and shit. And so that was 2016, and that's the last time I put any kind of pills in my body. I mean, I very rarely, occasionally, I'll take like an ibuprofen, but I don't like putting shit in my body that's not like food. And same goes with sugar. I try to do my best with that, but Monster is so good.
Yeah, my
That's
biggest
my last
downfall is
addiction I
Dr.
got to
Pepper
kick.
or Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'm working on that one actually. See, I've been drinking Gatorade more than anything else. Well, here in Florida, it's a little warmer than Michigan, just a wee bit,
Yeah.
and I'm losing weight already. I can tell.
Man, I was down there December
Hold on a second.
2018, and it was like fucking 80 degrees, man. It was too hot.
80 degrees is too hot.
Yeah, nah,
At
man.
1 o'clock this afternoon, I was helping my buddy. He came. It was 101 with 95% humidity.
Fuck that.
It's like,
I'll
welcome
stay up
back to
here in
Florida.
Minnesota.
Yeah. But your winters compared to mine down here, yeah, it's so.
Yeah,
It's
the
a.
winters do fucking suck up here. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Like this winter, dude, it was like I want to say October, like November through maybe the end of February, early March or something like that. Dude, it was so cold. It was like -20 almost every friggin' day for like a month and a half. Like January and February in Minnesota, it's lucky to get above 0. It sucks.
Yeah.
So you get really used to wearing
Brutal.
lots of layers.
Brutal.
Yeah, it gets old. But at the same time, it's like
down
my
here,
body, I
unfortunately,
don't do well with heat. I overheat very quickly.
Growing up down here, granted, I need to lose some weight, and this heat will definitely help that. But
We
growing up
lost a
down
leg.
here, it's
That's at least 10
kind of get
pounds, right?
used to it. Yeah, I lost a leg, and the new one actually is in the other room. I've left it in there, but yeah, I I I don't even know how to explain that. Losing a leg voluntarily is what? My dog growling at me. Yeah, voluntarily having your leg cut off is like, man, there's something wrong with you. And VA actually made me go see a psychiatrist. And they were thinking, once I seen a psychiatrist, they said, oh, this guy's absolutely off his rocker and don't need to have it done. Well, 3.5 hours. Well, it's supposed to be an hour session with a psychiatrist. It ended up being 3.5 hours. And before I walked out of the door, she called the orthopedic surgeon and said, you need to cut this guy's leg off now. And
we were in so much pain, dude.
that was the beginnings of it. And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in so much pain, like why
and I
sit
couldn't
there
use
in
it.
pain,
I mean,
man?
it was, and with my leg, I had 15 or 14 degrees range of motion. I literally could bend it from 4 degrees to 15 degrees, and that was it.
Oh, geez.
So straight leg, dealing with pain, and it felt like every time I'm walking, I'm dragging a boat anchor. And since then, having it cut off, and now it's like I'm ready to run. And my prosthetics guy said, you need to slow it down just a little bit. And I don't know what slow is anymore.
Like, yeah, I got shit to do.
So, it's like, Blake, I'm taking it easy a little bit. You're supposed to be on your leg 2 or 3 hours a day, preparing to stay on it all day, 1, 2, 3 hours at a time. And today I had it on, put it on at 7:30, and I didn't take it off. So,
hey man, I'm all about getting shit done, man.
And I am too now, and that's the reason why I'm down in Florida now instead of September. X22, like I said, it took off a whole lot faster than I expected, and with my board being down here, me being in Michigan,
did you get your 501c3 yet?
Not yet. Still waiting on that.
Good. Well, dude, I when you first talked to me a couple months ago, we had chat about just life in general at first, but we were chatting a little bit about meaning and wanting more and feeling like you maybe not doing enough. And I remember when you started talking about wanting to help veterans as well, and we started talking a little bit more, and then you had talked about fishing and everything like that. And I was like, what the fuck are you waiting for? And I honestly, I talk to a lot of people and a lot of things that I do is I help veterans either start new things. I think I've had my hands in starting 4 different nonprofits now, and I have nothing to do with them. I just want other people to find their passion.
Awesome.
And I get nothing out of it. I don't want anything out of it, but I do get to steal a little bit of their happiness because I see them doing things that make them happy.
Right.
And knowing that I had a part to do with that,
exactly,
that's reward enough, because it fills me up with the happiness that I need. One of my love languages is acts of service. I started realizing that when I really sat down and read that book, and just seeing like what really makes me happy. And I've noticed that anytime that I can either say something to somebody or do something for somebody that either A, changes their life, or B, maybe pushes them in the right direction, and they take it and they start changing their life based off of a conversation that we had, that means so fucking much to me. And if anybody's ever had a conversation with another person, and this not just vets, but anybody who has said something to somebody, and then next thing you know, even a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, you start seeing that person acting on some of those things that you talked about. I will tell everybody every single time. I don't care if anybody comes up to me and says, hey man, you changed my life. I didn't change shit. The only thing I did was give you the tools. You were the one who picked up those tools and decided to use them. And when you have anything to do with something like that, it is so fucking fulfilling, and it makes me so happy. And the fact that you actually you took that idea and you fucking sprinted with it. You didn't pick it up and walk. You sprinted with this idea. And next thing you know, a couple months down the road, you're on the road to being a nonprofit, dude. That's fucking awesome. I'm so happy for you.
And I, I'll tell you what really kicked me in the ass with it to get it really going. You're talking about talking to people.
Yeah.
There's an individual on Facebook that I'm friends with, and she has been following me, but actually she's following my dog. More people watch her than they do me. Or it's like, hey, what's Dixie doing? But she was started paying attention to what I had went through, and she actually contacted me, and she was telling me her story, and a lot of medical issues. Um, she's losing her sight. For one, she's blind in one eye, and the other one is getting close. Macular degeneration, I do.
Yeah.
But she loves horses, and Kim, I love you, sweetie. And the conversations we had with each other, she is now getting back on the horses, and every once in a while she'll send me a message. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. It's like I said, I didn't do anything other than just talk and just kind of set a seed and show that if you put your mind to it, no matter what, you can do something. And she is now enjoying life again, even though with all of her medical issues going on. And just to watch her with her horses playing and cutting up with them, it's absolutely amazing. And all I did was talk, and she asked how I got through all of it. And it's like prayer, talking like we're talking now, uh, getting out and just enjoying, just forget about everything else, do what you love, and don't let it take you down. That rabbit hole. And it's not hard to do with injuries and medical issues to just part. And I did
Yeah.
that. I did it for 21 years.
Yeah. And
The last
if
three has been
a lot of
better,
people
but
have a lot of people have watched my intro video on my Facebook page and on my page on my website, but it's called Nick's Story, but it was made by Inspiratio, and they we got in touch with each other, and they wanted to help me out and help me with a video, which is awesome because that video actually really helped me out a lot. Um, but I said
right.
inside that video, at one point they asked me a couple questions after I was done telling my story, and they used some of my answers in the video, right? And one of the questions that they asked me is like, how do you see veterans, improving their lives? Like, what do they need to do? What's something that we're missing? And the first thing that came to mind was connection. We need to connect with each other. We need to talk to each other. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I've been doing as I've been getting veterans to talk to each other. There's a bunch of guys who reach out, and
That,
we chat anonymously on my cell phone because my nonprofit phone number is my personal cell phone number. And so anybody can reach out at any
right.
time,
Mine
and
too.
there's people that text me anonymously, and I've been counseling these 12 guys for probably 6 months now. We chat almost every single day. I have no clue who these
Really.
guys are, no idea, and we've had some of the deepest conversations and some of the most interesting thoughts, and we just run with these thoughts, and I have no clue who these guys are. And
Mm-hmm.
I get these responses saying, hey, that really made me think about things in a different mindset. And that's my big push, is like switching and shifting mindsets and shifting perspectives to start seeing the fact that you have 100% control of your life. You just have to figure out what are the steps that you need to take to get to that point. Everybody can control their own life. Everybody can control their situation. Sometimes there's things happening
Yeah.
to you that you maybe can't control, and that's where epigenetics comes in. You need to change your environment. If your environment is unhealthy, it's hard to thrive in an unhealthy environment. So you need to change what that environment's like. You think about like a
Yeah.
flower trying to grow in a sea full of a sea full of weeds underneath a tree canopy. The best thing to do is
Right.
take that plant, take that flower, pick it up, and go plant it out in a field where it can get some sun. It's the same for all of us. There's a vet right now that I've been trying to talk to. I won't name
Right.
his
And
name,
that was
but I'm trying to get this fucker to get the fuck out of his home because where he lives right now is it's toxic. He's got no support. He's got no system
Yeah.
that wants to see him thrive. He's got a job that makes him unhappy. And I'm like, dude, move. There's so many places in this country that are amazing. I was like, what is stopping you? You have no connections. You barely talk to your family. You don't have a wife. You don't have children. Pick up and get the fuck out of there, because the best thing you can do right now is change your environment, because once you change that environment,
Yeah.
everything will change. Everything.
And
That was a little bit
that
of a
was part of
rant.
the reason why I moved to Michigan. With the certain situations that was going on in Florida at the time, and it was good at the time. You hush.
Still ain't
And
as bad as my
now
daughter running around naked the other day when I was on a podcast with Margot.
he, I love you, brother. Uh, my sister, she's not autistic, but my twin sister actually, she's got a lot of medical issues, and I understand what you're going through, because I mean, with her, we as kids growing up, I seen all that, and so I understand where it's coming from, and
Yeah,
so
it's interesting.
everybody's got their own own fire in them. What makes them want to tick? What makes them want to get up every morning? Like you were saying about this, your nonprofit, WNA, you're constantly doing it, but you have a full time job as well. I, on the other hand, luckily, I am able to put 100%. Once I move back to Florida,
Yeah,
I will be able to put 100% of my time and effort into X22, because I don't have a job. I am medically retired from the military.
yeah.
I am medically retired from the fire department.
And you
So
are doing
I
exactly
say
what
I
somebody in your
am
position should be doing.
110%.
You know, we had talked too about service after
Yeah,
service. You don't have to be in the military to have
yeah,
that sense of service or that sense of purpose. You're in that situation, dude. And I remember I told you this when we first started chatting. What is stopping you? You have nothing stopping you, and you have the opportunity of a lifetime right now. You
exactly.
you you have an unfortunate situation
And
that you can turn into fucking gold, because not only are you going to be able to go fishing and do some fun
that's
shit. Like, folks talk about my nonprofit sometimes, like, well, dude, you just doing this to climb mountains? I was like, that's part of it. But the reason why I'm doing it, I'm taking
yeah.
veterans with me. And like I said, when I climbed Mount Elbert, when I got up to the top, there a couple guys beat us up there, but they waited for us down at the bottom of the summit. When we walked up there, man, and I got up to the top and I finally stepped foot on top of that
That's
fucking mountain that
jealous.
I've wanted to climb for so many years, I turn around and I see 5 veterans following me, and I get to see these guys' fucking faces. They're high-fiving each other, and like, they just climbed a fucking mountain, and I
Mm-hmm.
facilitated that. That's what I get out of this nonprofit. I don't make any money. Eventually, yes, down the road, I'd like to turn this into a salary position so I could do this full time. But obviously, right now, it's just
Right.
not going to happen. I don't have enough money in the nonprofit to justify it, and I don't. I got to work. I got to pay the bills and shit. Eventually, down the road, I
Yeah.
will
No,
I
you got to
will
pay
have enough
bills.
money in this nonprofit to actually justify a living salary, so I can go out and do this full time. Like stuff with you, I
Mm-hmm.
can fly out and help you with an event if I need
Yeah.
to, or I can go travel around and I have like 5 veterans right now that, god damn it, if I could just get away for a week and spend a week with them, I know that I could get them, I know that I could make them change their perspective on a few certain things, because a lot of these conversations are easier in person. And I listen to Tony Robbins so goddamn much.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like, you
yeah.
know what? This is a long shot, and this is definitely me. Yeah, probably biting off more than I could chew, but fuck it, I'd rather choke on greatness. But I want to be the veteran version of Tony Robbins. I want to be able to help people reach their maximum potential, because there's not gonna, not you and I just can't go reach out and talk to Tony Robbins. Like what me and Elijah were talking about when Elijah
Right.
Best was on my podcast. You know, he needs proteges, because these proteges are going to reach more people than Tony Robbins, because Tony Robbins does all these great videos and great chats and speeches and everything like that, but actually interacting with them is going to be extremely difficult. So when when you have veterans like us, and plenty other vets out there like Zach McGuffrey, you got TJ Kreitzer, you got and all kinds of people from all these different nonprofits that are doing amazing things, and they're being fucking men and standing up and doing these awesome adventures, but at the same time, they have the biggest hearts I've ever seen. And I love the fact that there's more men reaching out and being vulnerable and putting themselves out there and risking it all just to have that little bit of happiness when you get a veteran to change their ways just a little bit and just to improve their lives just a little bit. It's totally worth it.
And I think for us, military and public safety, fire department, cops, paramedics, we're all we doing it for the service, to help others, to all that. The biggest thing that when I got hurt at the fire department, the biggest thing, and the military, that once I was out of sight and out of mind, it kind of I faded away. I missed the camaraderie of being able to shoot the shit with somebody. And granted, some of the stuff that we talk about in the military and the fire departments, some of it is off color. They would think that we're absolutely out of our mind with it, but we understand each other to it. I mean,
absolutely.
Perfect example. I'm not going to mention names, but we had a call where an individual was deceased in a house fire. And we're standing around waiting for the coroner. The fire's there, nobody's there. And we're standing around, and we've been fighting this fire for 10 hours. And that morning, we're all sitting there talking, and one of us made a comment, it's like, I'm hungry. And another one said, well, I could use some ribs. And when we're sitting there looking at a human being that is burnt to a crisp, we're talking about wanting to go eat barbecue in the morning time. And people, when I said that, somebody's like, man, how can you disrespect that? It's like, you have to compartmentalize those type of situations, because if you don't, it will eat you alive before you get started. That I have to say, that was the very first call I was on when I'm talking about right now. As a volunteer for Okeechobee, my very first call, it introduced me to everything. House fire, house, RV, mobile home. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My phone just can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
A house, RV, pole barn, 2 vehicles. It's 8 LPs. All of this is burning at the same time, and then we get a call that says there's possibly a victim. And the lieutenant that particular day, he looked at me and says, "This is your first one, ain't it?" It's like, "Yep." He packed me. I got packed out, and I'm on the nozzle, and he shows me inside the front door of this place, and it's cooking. And I mean, cooking. Next thing I know, I'm being snatched backwards out of the house, and an LP tank, actually the pop-off valve actually went off, and this thing started shooting like flamethrower right where I was standing, not 10 seconds earlier. And it scared the piss out of me, but the adrenaline was unfucking real. I mean, come on.
I bet.
And that was like, okay. And people's, you're crazy. You're going to run into a burning building? It's like, yeah, sure am. And I was the guy that they pretty much like, here you go. Hand me the fire hose and said, go do it. I was like a bull in the china shop. And
that's crazy.
I love that. If I could go back right now, I would. I mean, literally.
I mean, that's how a lot of vets feel like on convoys and stuff like that. You know, it's such a rush. You know, I probably, if you ask me right now, do you want to go back to Iraq and Afghanistan and do convoys as a 50 cal gunner? I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. Hell no. It's the last thing I want to be doing. You know, you want me to go climb a mountain or like ride a bull, jump out of a plane? Fuck yeah, I'll do all kinds of crazy shit. I just, I won't be behind a big gun anytime soon. That's for fucking sure. Hey, dude, fuck off.
Nah.
My
but
cat.
Speaking of riding a bull, when are you going to do that?
Catnip. He's on crack right now. Fuck. Ouch. So I actually, I think not next week. Next Friday, I have the Gunlick Law Speedway is hosting a mental health awareness suicide prevention night, and they chose my nonprofit Warriors Next Adventure as the
Wow.
beneficiary, which is awesome. So not only do I get to wave the checkered flag to start the races, which I think is fucking cool. It's dirt track racing, and me and the rest of the guys who are
That's so
coming
much
out
fun.
to, yeah, I'm excited. Me and all the guys who are coming out to volunteer with me to help sell raffle tickets and everything, we all get to present a trophy to the winner, and that trophy is dedicated to all veterans who've died by suicide. So that's a huge honor in its own. But then not only that,
Right.
we're the beneficiary for. I think we get like 50% of all proceeds for the raffles, which is insane. Like I would
Wow.
thought it would just been cool to let me wave the flag and talk to
That's
people.
sweet.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. Um, so we get to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on myself. I need to call this guy, and I need to set that up for not the 14th, but let's see, what would that be? The 21st. Um, I'm gonna try to set that up for the 21st and get up to there. It's called Diamond Cattle. I still haven't talked to the guy, but he's a professional bull rider, and there's a bunch of assholes who are pretty much talking me into riding a bull. So I think it's gonna happen. I'm kind of shitting myself
I
because
don't know
I'm
who
really
they are.
nervous.
I don't have a
Yeah,
clue on who they.
yeah, but it'll be on Facebook Live.
I
So I
will.
mean, we will be live streaming it so people can see me get
I
my ass
can't
kicked
wait to
by a
see
bull.
it.
I'm not fucking excited, but
I,
I'm still gonna do it
I,
because
I can tell you right now. I did it 3 times, total of 3.
Oh, did you?
Have you done it?
Oh yeah, I've jumped twice now.
Have you jumped out of a plane?
Yeah, twice. I want to do it again. There's this
Okay.
place in
Well, if
Baldwin,
you get on a
Wisconsin, where you
bull,
can actually go and
if you get on a
you
bull,
can get certified.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you get on a bull, I'll jump out of an airplane. How's that?
Deal. I'm down.
That work?
That's the deal. So you know what we should do? We
Okay,
should
I've said it. So
we should start a challenge, right? Um, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how we can make this fucking hilarious. So I I'll do it first, right? So if I successfully ride a bull for, I'm gonna say, I don't trust myself to it. We'll say 3 seconds. I need to stay on that bitch for 3 seconds. You need to jump out of a plane.
that's all right.
All right, cool.
Brother, if you get on a bull, I will jump out of the plane. Okay, it's because
Dude,
I'm telling you right now. When you look down in that cage, it's like,
yeah, I'm a little nervous.
do I really want to do this?
Well,
Because
like I train
it's
jujitsu, so I'm like, my grips are pretty fucking
I'm nervous
strong.
now.
So
Your grip has very little to do with it. It
God
is
damn it.
keeping your ass glued to that, your legs holding on,
Yeah.
and can't wait to see this.
Oh god, it's gonna be fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
I guess I'm gonna
I,
be out of an airplane before
I'm
too
gonna
long.
call him. I'm gonna call him today, before I go to jujitsu. So I'm gonna try and set that. Well, dude, what tell us where people can reach out to you. Are you taking in donations yet? Because if a lot of people don't know, if a
Oh
company
yeah,
like
I've
yours
got a
is
there's
going to apply for a 501c3, if you apply or if you donate to a company who is not a 501c3 yet, but by the end of the fiscal year they get that 501c3 status, those donations are still tax deductible. So you guys can still get kickbacks on that. So where can they donate to X22
yes.
Adventures?
There my Facebook page, Steve Cone, or X22 Adventures. You can find it either one. There's a GoFundMe that you can donate to, and also one on. Let's see. My mom started a GoFundMe, and I've got one on my Facebook page. So there's 2 of them.
Okay.
But look up
Awesome.
X-22 Adventures, and
So when do you
or
think you're going to
mine,
do your
Steve
first
Cone,
event?
Cone. Um, I would like to do one before I go back to Michigan. I got to go
Mhm.
back up there for a couple of months. I got a couple more medical things I got to do. My leg.
Yeah.
But I would actually like to
just
do a
remember that
small
it's
one
probably gonna
before
it's
I go
probably gonna
back.
start
Get a couple
small,
of
man.
guys, and like I said,
Yeah, exactly. If it even if it just starts with a
that's
couple guys
what
fishing,
I'm
man,
expecting.
that's
I'm not
a start.
expecting this thing to. It's I want to get out on the lake, and I went and bought a GoPro um, to to the guys catching fish. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, or a couple of guys on YouTubers, I should say, that
Mhm.
are fishermen and hunting. And like I said, eventually I'd like to have all of it. I'd like to actually have a retreat here in Okeechobee. I'd like to get a piece of land and have guys come in and go fishing on the ocean, go fishing at the lake, go
Yeah.
catch an alligator. Uh, that's
Dude, I wanna
possible here.
wrestle an alligator.
Or go catch a snake. I don't know about that. I'd
Yeah.
rather put a
How
bullet in
much
one.
Yeah, hook that
You
up,
can
man.
taste food.
Don't worry about insurance and stuff. If I get killed, it's my own dumbass fault. But I wanna tackle an alligator.
I could possibly make that happen. I
Oh, the
seriously
pedo
possibly
folks
can
are gonna
make that
lose their
happen.
shit.
Um, yes, they are. But you know what? It makes the world go round. Yeah, we are not. Our as my daddy would used to say, my bubble is not plumb, or I'm a half bubble, all plumb, and but that's me. I'm a, hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to riding this bull. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
That's gonna suck. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get my ass kicked. But hey, it's whatever, dude.
Come on
Well, hey,
now. Hey,
I actually gotta get rolling.
I
I gotta
still
get a few
bother
things
me
done
too.
before jujitsu and stuff like that. But um, it's I'm super excited to see where this goes, man. I'm excited. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that
Hey, me
you're
too.
not in so much pain anymore. I'm glad to see you walking on your leg. I'm happy for you, man. And just the fact that you reached out and we had
Thank
these
you.
conversations, everything like that, and you grabbed the bull by the horns and you kicked him in the face, man. Like you've been doing really well. So
Uh,
I'm proud of you, and just don't ever give up. Don't ever stop
this
being
is
good.
no. I'm not, and I know where I've been, and
Yeah,
the things that I've been through the last 21 years. I've got a perspective that a lot of people don't have. I mean, I'm a vet. I'm a disabled vet. I'm a public safety personnel. I'm a disabled personnel. Suicide, drug addiction, depression, anxiety, you name it, I've been there. So I can relate to a lot of people in different ways. And when they say, well, you haven't been in my shoes, it's like, well, okay, I can
that's where
explain my
empathy
shoe.
comes into play.
It's like I can get through it. And so that's how it all got started. We definitely need to talk again, talk more about the
Oh, for
X22.
sure.
But
Oh, we
I'm
chat like
ready
every day
to
anyway, so it kind of works out.
jump on that
Right?
bull.
We kind of feed off each other's
Oh
fucking
yeah, yeah,
inspiration, so it works out. Well, dude,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, let's
And
we'll do another
I
one here soon.
sounds good.
Yeah,
X22Adventures.org. Everybody go take a look at it. And the webpage is up.
the
They
webpage
can
is
go
up.
to
Okay, cool.
X22 or
Yeah, y'all see it scrolling on the bottom.
X-22Adventures.org.
Go check it out.
It's up and running.
Steve's got some awesome things planned here, man,
And
and we're actually
and
gonna try to meet up when I do my
yeah,
jujitsu versus PTSD tour. I'll be traveling the country for about 50 days,
yeah,
and I'll be going to different jujitsu gyms across the country. But I'm also going to be stopping doing other activities as well, such as we have a mountain climb. We have to set all this stuff up again because we were supposed to do it this year. So I haven't set up the dates and times yet. So it's going to be a while before this stuff is actually out there. But we're going to be climbing mountains. We're going to be
right.
going rock climbing, bike riding. We're going to be going to a Dodgers, the amateur Dodgers in Oklahoma City, working out me throwing an opening pitch out at the Oklahoma Dodgers game, which that'd be cool. But fishing with you, I got another vet who does kayak fishing
Oh,
over
that's
in
cool.
that's who. Gene Gribble. I got to connect you with Gene. He does God damn it. I feel so bad. I can't remember the name of it, but he does
That's
kayak fishing for vets.
that's something else I was looking into. It's Florida is kind of a unique state because one for 24/7, 365, you can pretty much do something around here.
Yeah.
And more than it's just fishing. It's kayaks. I've got a thing I'm looking into is taking guys to go swim with dolphins.
Oh,
Not
sweet.
like at SeaWorld. I'm talking actual getting out in the water in the Gulf of Mexico, and which you're not supposed to, but like I said, Peter's might not like me too much.
You're not supposed to do a lot of things these days,
Go
you know?
swim with manatees.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
where I grew up in here in Florida, I swim with manatees every year, every winter. I'd go out there and it's 50 degrees outside. The water is 72, and I'm having a blast as a kid
That's
growing
awesome.
up. So I've got up here, I've got so many things I want to do, and it's just I got to slow down and prioritize on how I want to get it
Yeah.
going. But I'm
Well, man,
hoping to
it's
do a small little fishing trip here soon,
nice.
and I will be posting videos of it, and I'm ready to
Well,
get this
keep me
thing rolling,
updated, man.
brother.
Just let me know how
One day at a
I
time.
can help, dude. Like I said
I
from the
will. I
beginning,
will.
man, I'm gonna be right here with you every step of the way, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out.
I appreciate it.
All
I
right, man. We'll
appreciate it.
talk
I'm looking
soon.
forward to meeting you. And well, there's one thing I wanted to mention real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Talking about nonprofits for veterans and stuff. I am going to a retreat in South Dakota. It is called Sacred Mountain. Look that up. It's for veterans, public safety, and Gold Star families. It is an all expenses paid trip, 7 day retreat, and you get to do all kinds of crazy things. I'm supposed to be going. Oh crap! Got the dates. September 10th through the 17th,
Nice.
and it's equine therapy. It's in
Oh, like horses and stuff.
Deadwood.
Nice.
Horses. Learn how to make knives, leather work, but you're around other individuals that's like you, and that
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that we all miss is being around like-minded people. That okay, we can cut up and have fun, but we know when to get serious, and
Yeah.
we got your back.
That's what it's
That's
all about, man. Getting together. Vets getting together with vets, but
that.
also incorporating, civilians in there too. And that's where jujitsu comes into play for me.
Yeah.
But dude, let's talk again soon.
There's something that you said.
I'm excited for all
It's
everything you got set up, man.
I appreciate it, brother, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And this fix to be a wild ride, and I am I'm ready. Both feet,
All
as
right,
they
dude.
say, or I'm jumping in with one foot. No,
There you go. All right, man. We'll
and I
talk
have
soon.
been busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking concert. All right, brother, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, man. Bye. All right, guys. So if you guys want to support Warriors Next Adventure, first off, X22 Adventures, go check that out. Steve's an awesome guy. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And if you guys want to support Warriors Next Adventure, you can go to Patreon. We got a couple different memberships there. If you want to support us monthly, you can also go to the GoFundMe that we have set up right now for the St. Croix River paddle for suicide prevention. Me and my buddy Will are going to be paddling the entire length of the St. Croix River. We're going to be doing that August 31st through September 4th, about 30 miles a day. So that's going to be rough. We're going to be trying raising money for veterans. And then also we have the Gun Lake Law Speedway in Superior, Wisconsin. So if you're anywhere near there, that's August 14th for the suicide prevention and PTSD awareness night. We are the beneficiary of the raffle tickets, which is awesome. They didn't really have to do that. They just reached out and wanted to have us come out. So that's amazing. We're going to try to do whatever we can to make some impact in this world. And I challenge every single one of you to reach out to somebody who's close to you or somebody who that may be struggling and just offer some words of advice, because you never know. One conversation could save somebody's life. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it, and I will quit rambling. I'll talk to you guys soon.